Welcome back to the next video, the first weekly analysis video of October. As usual, I'm just going to start off with the main pairs and then head over to the Forex crosses that I have been looking at or following over the course of a few weeks. So this is UJ, once again, USD JPY, the dollar yen. As you can see, we did not break out of the 109.2 resistance, so we are headed back down. We have a little double top pattern. However, I don't really rely on those as much as some people who do trade double tops and double bottoms, and that is fine as well. So going to the H4, we have a break of this support that I have drew here, and we have a retest. However, something like this, I will want a retest of a deeper retracement before the next leg down into our 105 support area. However, in this case, we probably might not see that this week. Going down to the 1 hour, we have a little double bottom, and it rejected off of the zone that we have. The zone is our neckline. So this neckline, this little head and shoulders neckline, this is the first retest of the neckline, and prices actually made a double top. And this is the second retest, which is going a little bit deeper into the neckline. So we actually, or I am seeing weakness in the dollar yen. So this weakness can drive our dollar yen pair into the 105.5 support area, which is also a daily level. As you can see back here, it is an important level which prices have rallied from in the past. So I'm looking for another retest or another for price to come back down into this 105.5 support area and go from there. So that is the outlook for this week for UJ. Moving forward to UCAD. UCAD is in the middle of nowhere for me. It is in a downtrend. However, we are in a weird market. It's consolidating-ish, but it's a little choppy for me to call anything. However, we'd like to see. So if this little zone holds, which it may not. However, if this zone holds, I might want to see a push up before it comes back down into our 1.325 area. So that is one trade I can look for this week, or it can head down there. However, I would want to see some retracement, something over here. It'll retrace, bounce into our extension level before it falls. But still in the air for UCAD. I can't really say anything. Don't want to cause confusion, but that is what I'm looking at for UCAD. I don't really trade UCAD. I don't really like Canadian pairs. Going forward to the dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, I have been starting to trade dollar Swiss and been really well with it. It has respect my market structure. In this case, for dollar Swiss, this 1.0 area resistance zone is holding. So I'm looking for this to hold further. In this case, I'm actually short on USD CHF, but where would I enter on a short? So in this case, I would enter on a retest of the neckline here that was broken. However, if it does tend to retrace back into the 1.0 area, I will look for shorts there. So a little short off of here. However, if this zone that I drew holds, so this zone is from previous resistance, if that holds, I would look for continuation. So a little confusing, a little bit over the place, but USD CHF, it's been on an uptrend for around 2 months now. So if you guys are going for trend continuation, you guys can do so. However, I am a little bit bearish on this pair. What? What? Yeah, alright, going on to the next pair. Not really much going on for USD CHF. I'd rather scalp this pair rather than swing it. In this case, because this zone has been tested multiple times, 1, 2, I would see if it holds for the third time. If it does not, and if it breaks on the third touch or on the fourth, whatever you guys want to call it, look for a break and retest trade for a short position. Moving over to Euro USD. Now Euro USD, I have been looking on descending trend line. This right here still holds. From 2 weeks ago, it still holds. So in this case, if this descending trend line still holds, and if this previous support, now resistance, is also valid at the 1.10 area, I am looking for shorts as well. Here, back into my zone. Now this is right here. This right here is around 100 pips, give or take 90, 100 pips. And what I'm aiming for is the 1.08 area, which is my final TP, the 1.087 area, which is my final TP. And that's going to go with GU as well. When we hop over to GU, same setup. But for GU, the market structure is slightly different. So in this case, I have a struck level marked up here as well. A little bit of a choppy market. The news, you can see these little price whips, news. However, I'm seeing a little more downside into our zone. See what happens in the zone before I do anything. A short right now would be nice. However, it's in the middle of 2 zones, so I'd rather not touch it. And wait until it gets into my zone to do anything. Now on a 4 hour, I'm seeing something different. You see a little head and shoulders within a small head and shoulders within a larger head and shoulders. Now price was rejected off of the daily support over here. Previous support now broken, rejected, and it is still holding a higher low. However, that's on a daily. Things on daily tend to take a little while to show. So you need to get on the 4 hour or 1 hour for earlier entries. So if you pull my fibs right here to here, I don't know why I just pulled my fibs, but in this case, I'm looking for either a retest of this area for a short, because this area was a previous support and also is a zone for a down move. Or if that area holds and it breaks, so a little clean break, I might go for some trend continuation trade off of here. But in this case, I'm a little bit bearish on GU. So with that being said, I would start looking for shorts with final TP most likely at this 1.205 area right here. I don't have a zone there or a level there, but this is the 1.205 area that I'm looking for short targets. That is GU. Now GU, next one is going to be AU. It's going to fly through these quickly because nobody got time to watch like an hour-long analysis video. Guys got better things to do. AU on a weekly, we have approached a level in the market, but any important levels could be even further down. However, this is more of a recent price action, so we need to focus on more recent price action, which here on a daily we have what looks like a double bottom. what is looking at these wicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wicks around the 0.67 price point. So this 0.67 price point is, I can personally say it would be the baseline, the base price for the Aussie dollar. Now, if it breaks this 0.67 price point, we can possibly see the 0.65, the 0.6432 area, which probably might happen in the future. However, I'm not really focused on it in the future. I'm more focused on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. So on the daily, we are in a downtrend. What do we do in downtrend? I do trend continuation trades. So because it's about downtrend, we have retracement, pullback, and I would want to see a more deeper retracement before the next move down. So in this case, waiting for price to go back into my 68 or even the 68.5 to 69 area, which is also my zone right over here, previous support for shorts. Now, I'm going to give this pair some time because it rather moves pretty slowly. Excuse me. Moves rather slow. So I'm going to give it some time to work its way up into these levels before I call some shorts. Now, a short at the touch of this little descending trend line would be nice, which also intersects with my a small little mini level over here. But I'll let that work its way, right? So the descending trend line matches up with my entry levels, and the 38.2 also matches up with my market structure. I'll let that wait. Don't really see anything on a 1 hour, as the 1 hour is on an uptrend. And I'm not buying because this thing can fall any second, any moment, just because in a downtrend. So just because I'm waiting for things to retrace up doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be buying, because it is in a downtrend market. So that's all for the main pairs. Now let's head over to gold. A little crazy week on gold. I don't really like to touch gold because of its volatility and because it's more fundamental. Personally, in my opinion, it's more fundamental. So for gold, on a daily, it is in an uptrend. We're just in consolidation right now on the daily. So daily consolidation for gold, we are in a small little channel. However, just because on the 1 hour or the 4 hour it's making lower lows, most likely doesn't mean it's gonna break down completely. Just probably needs more time and also more like space to retrace before the next move. Now on the weekly, again, we are still at the price still has not made any attempt of closing in the zone. It might take a while, so let's wait on that. However, if you guys are looking for shorts, I'll probably look for shorts around the 15-25 area, just because around these areas we see some crazy movements, crazy small little sell-offs. So in this case, something around the yellow zone with stop loss above this high here, just a little bit over this high, and take profits at the next zone. So that is a scenario that I would be looking for on gold. However, if it starts inching down, break of that, and I'll go in on the retest of this support zone. So that is another scenario for gold. However, I actually want to see gold head back up to the 1520s and look for shorts there instead of waiting for a break and retest here. But We'll see on gold. It's very it's a weird funky pair. Now gonna look at the DXY, GBP AUD. So GBP AUD, I was expecting a long at the at the trend line actually, but we didn't get that. Instead, we got the long at the 1.815, which is previous resistance. However, it did not make a new higher high yet. It is still in consolidation. Right here on a 4-hour, this is still making higher lows, but then right now it seems like it's starting to pull back a little into our ascending trend line. And I want to see what happens, because right here this is all consolidation. This whole thing is consolidation, and we might see some breakdown on GBP AUD. So I want to see what happens when it hits here. And on a 1 hour, I could see a this setup. That's a setup on a 1 hour I am looking to take into the ascending trend line, which is also previous market structure. Going to the 1 hour, this is the move I am anticipating for GA. This is already the retest, so maybe if you would want to wait for another retest, that's cool. However, the outlook, this is the outlook for GA into the zone, and also the ascending trend line, which is also previous structure. So that is GA for you. Very similar thing with EA. Where is it? There it is. With EA, similar scenario. A little bit messy. However, EA, this was the leg. We caught this whole move down. This was the leg, the little head and shoulders, retest of the neckline, and it finishes pretty much completes the head and shoulders. However, this previous market structure support still holds, and prices retraced back down. In this retrace right here, AU was at the double bottom. So AU was at the double bottom. AU retraces up, EA retraces down. So go back to EA. Okie dokie. That is that. Now for shorts on EA, let's go to the 1 hour. For shorts on EA, most likely want a retest of this 1.63, only because if you enter right now, the drawdown would be too great. It'll be around, depending where you put your stop loss, around 60 to 80 pips, and I don't really want that. Would want at least a retrace to this area. And it's, even though it's a minor area, it beats it shaves off around 30 pips off of your stop loss. However, if it continues to go, I would wait until it goes to my ascending trend line and go from there. Okay. EA. That's EA. On a 15-minute, you already have a retest, but that's a 15-minute retest. I mean, that's a lower time frame retest, which to me isn't as valid as like the 4-hour retest. In this case, you can't really see the 4-hour retest, but it is there. We just didn't see it. So in that case, I'm not really entering. On a 1 hour, you can see the retest clearly, but it's just slight retest. If you didn't catch it, that's cool. You can probably have another opportunity, but in this case, probably not, as the move right here, it is, how do you say, it is definite that it's headed down. So because of this ascending trend line being touched multiple times, I could see this break. Most likely on this move down. However, if it does not break on this move down, we can see a little bounce off of the yellow zone into here, before it starts breaking the descending trend line. But all in all, I am a little more bearish on Euro AUD than bullish. And also with the weakness of the Euro, that's gonna tie into the analysis or the outlook. So, GBP-CHF, very similar. No, actually, no, it's not. It's not similar. So we have been on a downtrend for the pound Swiss since like forever. And this right here, you pull the zone. This is a zone. This is a previous support zone that has held for, I want to say, a couple years before it broke. Now in this case, this was a retest, and we have pulled back just a little bit. Now this pullback doesn't mean doesn't necessarily like determine the next move down. You guys see what happens on a 4-hour and also maybe the 1-hour for entries. But let's go back to the 4-hour. Let's see. 4-hour, you have, this was a retest and it breaks down and it retraces back up. However, it doesn't, it did not quite get up to the 1.25 around price level, I want to say. Now, where is this level coming from? This level is coming from the previous support. Now, going back to the 4-hour, you know now this level is previous support. Now, going off of that, and because that thing has held in the past for a couple years, the fact that this thing is coming up now, what are the chances that it could break this previous support that is held, that now broke? Maybe not right now. So I would start looking for shorts. Where would I look for shorts? I would look for shorts at the bounce of this. The bounce of this support, which is here, into my zone once again for shorts into this should be my final target. My first TP would be here. So the risk reward, even though this is on a lower time frame, this is in a little uptrend, your higher lows over here. However, it's starting to break down because we are in a major market structure. Market structure. So final TP would be your 1.19, and it's pretty realistic. Last time it was at 1.19 was last month. Your stop loss, if you enter at the retest of the red zone, would be above the high here. Now, if it will make the trade invalid if it makes a new high. So I'll make it slightly above there, and that's gonna give me a 2.77 risk to reward. Now stop loss is around 150 pips. Target is around, the final target is 427 pips. So that's good. That's off the 4-hour. Now if you go on a 1-hour, you can get a cleaner entry. Now on a 1-hour, we could probably start making a short here, a short scalp. But I don't want to get too deep into that. So short scalp, very a lot of price whips and very good for scalping, which I don't want to get into that, but that's the weekly outlook for the pound Swiss. Same with CAD. Now the CAD and the USD CAD a little bit different, the pound CAD versus the USD CAD. I could see some downtrend, definitely a downtrend, not a downtrend, pullback to the downside. Now where could I enter? Where could we enter here? You can enter market structure, market price, market order. Is that what you call it? Market order? Sell by market. Yeah. Sell by market, which wouldn't give you the best risk to reward. But selling by market, cool. I would actually want a retest of this level. However, I don't really think it could go all the way past this high here, so maybe a retest of like a small pullback before I enter for shorts would be nice, because this right here was a trap. Little bull traps, trap your little buyers before price comes back down. This was, I think, news, but not sure. Whatever. I don't really care that much for news, but it's good to keep in mind. Is this thing still recording? Yeah, I think so. So that's GC, GCAD, pound, loonie. Yeah. So this zone, it did not hold. It retraces, and I'm seeing some downside action. So let's say we entered somewhere at the pullback of this into the neckline again. A stop loss would be above this high and above this high at this zone. And then final TP would be at the next zone, which is down here, which is also a higher time frame support. Boom. That's gonna give me almost a 1.1 to 4 risk to reward, depending on where you enter, depending on where you put your take profit and your stop loss. And that's enough of pound loonie. And I'm headed over to, I'm not gonna do XRP because that is a private pair. We already did AU, GJ, EJ, and US 30. You guys to skip to the part where it goes to US 30. That's fine. GJ though. GJ, we called out a trade. Hopefully you guys took it because that was 100 pips. I was actually not that confident in this trade, but it went with my trading plan. So the reason why I called it was a touch of the descending trend line, and it was a retest of support right over here. It's a minor level of support, however, because the oh my god, because the stocks because the stocks were falling. So sorry you guys had to hear this. Because the stocks were falling, the yen gets a little bit stronger. So that's why I took a little short there. A little fundamental thing, a little technical analysis, and also because this thing has been falling, so I took the chance and made a short and slightly drawdown. It was like 5 pips drawdown before it went into our take profit. So I was pretty proud of that. Congrats to those who took it. But on to the analysis. So I am seeing more downside actually on this pair. The reason why is because we are in a bear market. However, also US 30 could start. So this is the US 30. US 30, this is the retrace, and it may actually make another leg down. However, going back to GJ, this is GJ, and I will actually want to see some deeper retracement to the upside before it drops down, because this right here did not really give GJ that much room to pull back. The pullbacks are not that deep, and I want like a more significant pullback, probably into my yellow zone here. And this is off of market structure on the hourly. Probably over here, either one of these 3 levels. And these are minor levels, but really gotta see how GJ plays out, because GJ is a volatile pair and it retraces. Sometimes it retraces and sometimes it does not, depending on the move. So something like this, these are small retraces before big impulse moves. So I want to see some sort of retrace. Like a retrace like this is nice because this is around a 50% retracement, or 62. So around a 50 to 60% retracement. That's good. So we have a something that looks like a double bottom off of a minor support right over here. So maybe you could see a small retrace into back into the 1.325, 1.33. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. 132.5 to 133 area before a short, the next short before the next leg. So something like that, and then something like that. Your first target would be here, so I'm just gonna lay it out. So your stop loss would be above this market structure, so a little bit above there, give or take. That's the structure. Your final TP, I'd actually make it here. That would be my final TP for GJ. So I am bearish on GJ, even though we have made higher lows, and even though this daily structure is a break and retest, even though we're on a retest of something that's broken. I'm looking at the overall sentiment for the pound, or specifically for this pair. GJ, I did UJ, right? I think I did. Yeah, that was the first pair. EJ, same exact scenario, but quite different. So we said, or the past few weeks, past 2 or 3 weeks, we said EJ would reject off of this descending trend line for the yellow zone, and we are pretty much almost to a yellow zone. Now, the final push down into our yellow zone, I'm looking for another a deeper retrace, because this didn't have that much time to retrace. I mean, it probably did, but to my standards, probably not. But markets, I guess, do not move to my standards. So if I want to take it a short, maybe a retracement into this previous zone, which is here. Let me just draw it for you guys. And also either either zone, so here, or something up here, which is I marked by the dotted line, and then to the downside. So we have here, it's also a touch of a descending trend line to the downside. So the stop loss would be above this line that we have here, or you could put it above the zone, which gives it's just around 30 more pips, give or take. So your stop loss is around 50 pips. And then if your final TP is the yellow zone, which is also previous market structure, that makes for a nice, oh my god, my nose is stuck. That makes for a nice short. But if you're waiting for a deeper retracement, because this trend line is a little bit too steep, I would wait before anything. Because if you're entering at if your entry is not the best, your stop loss needs to account for it. Meaning your stop loss is a little bit more generous, and bigger stop losses, you need to take it on a smaller lot size. So that is that. So retrace into the 117.7 area, and maybe even the 1.18. The 118 area is nice areas for shorts. However, outlook for this week is bearish EJ, bearish EJ, bearish UJ, and bearish GJ. So that's it. And then the final one, like always, is US 30. Now US 30, very interesting pair. So on a daily, this is what's happening on a daily. It's been on an uptrend on a daily. However, this right here did not make the high, did not make all-time highs like we thought it would, because there was no catalyst and there's recession fears in the air. This right here was this panic sell-off. Companies were dumping their shares. And we had this wick off on, I think that was Friday, right? Or Thursday. That was Thursday. The wick on Thursday, and then the Friday we just recovered some of our that sell-off. So this right here is retracement. I wouldn't actually trade US I wouldn't actually take the sell off based off of fibs on the US 30 this time, even though it lines up pretty well. So I want to make sure, I want to see what happens, the candles and the market levels first. So in this case, it did not bounce off of the previous resistance like I expected to. However, it actually went even deeper in. So let me mark it up. I'm gonna just put that there. That's good. So this is US 30. What was I saying? We're on a retrace. Now a retest of the 26750 area would be nice for shorts. Nice for shorts back down. Now our final TP will probably be at the 25,400 area. Also another scenario where it retraces even deeper into the descending trend line, which is also the zone here. So we'll just give it the 27,000 area for shorts. And then my targets, my final TP, I'll be taking partials along the way depending on the lot size that I go in. It will be that. However, it really depends what happens up here to take the shorts. I think that's about it. I hope this video did not go over 40 minutes. I try to speak fast, but if it did, I'll still put timestamps, so it's whatever. So that's US 30. If you're going on a 15-minute, if you're scalping on a 15-minute, I would actually look for a retest of this area before going long into the 2700 area, or at least to this level, the 26700 level, which is the previous support, now resistance. So that's what I see. However, we give it some time and see what happens up here, because sells right now may see stop loss. If we're selling here, could see some stop loss above the previous support. First TP, second TP, third TP. That gives you around a 1 to 2, 1 to 3.5 risk to reward. Now if you're waiting even further out for a better risk to reward, that's cool too. Really depends. If you're scalping, if you're like a swing trader, I want to say. But I don't, yeah, that's pretty much it for weekly analysis.